Hello everyone, welcome to this new type of video where I'm going to be reacting to songs from the American Song Contest and give you my Eurovision fans' perspective on these songs. So these are reaction videos, like I said, because now for Eurovision I'm doing reviews. So I've listened to the songs prior to reviewing them, whereas here, this is going to be my first time hearing any of these songs. I haven't done a lot of research on the artists. I have only watched the NBC's short introduction to these artists, so I know a little bit, but I'm not going to be getting into it before every single song. We've got 11 songs to get through. That's a lot of songs, you know, so I'm gonna try to make it short and sweet. I've got my commie knockoff of Coca-Cola, Kofola from the Czech Republic. It's awesome. If you ever get a chance, you should try it out. And I just wanted to show you that it has a heart on the bottle, and that's pretty normal, right? But have a look here. This is a sperm. Like, don't tell me it's a balloon, because it does not look like a balloon. What's that about? We shall never know. You have to ask the Czechs. Anyway, let's get to it. Our first state is Arkansas. So for these videos, I'll be just saying stuff off the top of my head, what I associate these states with. A lot of them I don't know very well. If I say something incredibly stupid, well, if there are any Americans there in my audience, please let me know in the comments, because I'm totally willing to learn. It's just that my life's a bit hectic right now, so I just didn't have the time to really get into it. But I did check the state's nicknames. So Arkansas is called the natural state. That's what I learned. Arkansas, I honestly have very little associations with Arkansas. The only thing that I really know is that one of the queens on season 14 of RuPaul's Drag Race that is out now was from Arkansas. That was Metamorphosis, who was the first cis male straight drag queen on the franchise. So that's literally the one thing that I know, and I kind of associated with being country. Okay, so the name of the artist is Kelsey Lamb, and her song is Never Like This. The one thing that I remember from this introduction video is that she recently got married, and basically her song is about love, about finding that true love. I mean, she has a very nice voice, but it's a ballad, so, you know, I hate it. I mean, hate it. I don't hate it, but I am definitely not putting on this song on purpose anytime in my life. Okay, pretty damn bland and boring if you ask me. That's my unfiltered reaction to this. Of course, it's very well sung. It's pretty well written. I think that the melody of the chorus is quite nice, but it's completely not something that I'm into. So that's why I don't like it. So don't confuse my opinion with like an evaluation of her skill as an artist, because that's not what it is. Next up on our list is the state of Connecticut, represented by Michael Bolton. Michael Bolton is one of the two big names on the American Song Contest this year, because it's basically him and Macy Gray, and his song is Beautiful World. Connecticut is called the Constitution State or the Nutmeg State. And the only thing that I associate with Connecticut, honestly, is on the show 90 Day Fiancé, Darcy is from Connecticut. Let's just get right into it. So I'm expecting a ballad, because that's what Michael Bolton is famous for. He has gotten so old. Because the last time I saw Michael Bolton was, I think, on this video that he did with The Lonely Island, and I feel like that was not long ago. But that's probably like 10 years ago because I'm old. I wasn't expecting this beat in the background. Wow. And those drums there are pretty cool. I'm way more into it than what I expected. Clearly, they don't have rules limiting the number of people on stage to 6. Wow, I am really pleasantly surprised by this one. Great job, Connecticut, I guess. Next up on our list is Indiana, called the Hoosier State, which I have no idea what that means. Okay, the one thing that I associate with Indiana is that I know that, well, I have two things. So the first thing is that the show Erie, Indiana was set in Indiana. And I really liked the show. I watched it a lot with my brother when we were growing up. The other thing that I associate with Indiana is the show Parks and Recreations, because that one is set in Indiana, I know. So those are the only two things that I know about this state. Okay, so Indiana is represented by Yuji Skywalker with the song Love in My City. So, let's see. Featuring Maxi, by the way. They have cars on stage on the American Song Contest. Well, what's more American than cars, honestly? Makes sense. Although it's a Mercedes. What's up with that? How about some GMC or Chevrolet or, you know? That could be the difference between Eurovision and American Song Contest. Generally, rap, hip-hop is not very successful at Eurovision. Probably due to the language barrier. Probably in America it will do a bit better. I'm no expert on hip-hop, but it does kind of remind me of, like, you know, Nelly, that sort of thing. It's a nice song. I would probably have to listen more times to it to kind of have any distinct emotions about it. For now, it's like, it's cool, but I don't know. Next up on our list is Iowa. Now, I know a little bit more about Iowa because my dad works for a company that is from Iowa. They have their HQ in Des Moines, so I have some idea of what Iowa is like. It's called the Corn State. Slipknot are from Iowa. Also, I know that the Iowa caucuses are basically the first election in the primaries. I know that Iowa is regarded as a pretty boring state. So let's see what they bring. Okay, so they're represented by Elizabeth von Presley and her song Wonder. Oh, so it's like a girl power song. That transition from the chorus to the verse is quite nice. The chorus itself, it's nothing really special, I think. She obviously has a nice energy on the stage. A very energetic performance. That's it. I mean, everything that I had to say about it, I think that I said while watching it. Next up on our list is Minnesota. So we have Iowa followed immediately by Minnesota. So, bit of a like sibling rivalry there. Okay, so the state of Minnesota is also called the North Star State, the Gopher State, and a land of 10,000 lakes. I'm sorry. So I know that this one film with Charlize Theron is set in Minnesota. It's the movie which was written by the writer of Juno. And that's like probably the only thing that I associate with Minnesota, apart from it being right next to Iowa. So Minnesota is represented by Yam Haus with their song Ready to Go. That riff is quite nice, quite playful. Their lead singer reminds me of someone. I really feel like the vocals are not strong enough. It all feels like a little bit muted to me. Like, I feel like it could be way more fun. Oh, I know who he reminds me of! He has this thing, like, this actor, what's his name? The one from Hunger Games. So his jawline, this part of his face, it kind of reminds me of him. I think like this could have been much better. I don't know, to me it felt a little bit too mellow. Next up is the state of Mississippi, called the Magnolia State. Mississippi, the one thing I know about it is that it is generally regarded as the worst of all the 50 states. Oh, and I remember that when I was 12 years old, I lived in Belgium. I went to an international school, and we had to do this show at our school. It was all about America, American history, American culture, and our class, we were reciting Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, and my part was I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with injustice, a state sweltering with oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. Okay, Mississippi is represented by Keon Star with the song Fire. Let's see. Wow. I love the intro. Nice. Like, people think that hitting the high notes is hard, but trust and believe, the low notes are just as hard, if not harder, for women, for example. People are starting to do guitar solos now too. I mean, that's quite nice, because we had like this long period with no guitar solos in songs, you know. That was quite cool. Good job, Mississippi. Next up is Oklahoma, which is called the Sooner State. I have no idea what that means. Anyway, I know about Oklahoma that there is a musical called Oklahoma. I think it's Oklahoma, which is the state which actually should be owned, like 50% of it should be owned by a Native American tribe. So yeah, Oklahoma is represented by Alexa with the song Wonderland. Let's hear it. I heard that it's a K-pop song, so I'm excited. Love K-pop. Alexa is half Korean, I think. So it's not cultural appropriation. Right. Oh, it's just dawned on me that the title is Wonderland, because I was thinking like, oh, she looks a bit like Alice in Wonderland, and I was like, of course, now that makes sense. Yeah, it was cute. It was cute. It was not bad. I'm not super in love with it. Next up on our list is Puerto Rico, represented by Christian Pagan with the song Loco, because of course, how could a song in Spanish be called anything else? So Puerto Rico doesn't get a nickname because it's a colony. You don't get a nickname, you don't get to vote. So obviously I associate, what's his face? Ricky Martin. And then of course West Side Story. I know that Jennifer Lopez has Puerto Rican roots. I know that there's plenty of drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race that were from Puerto Rico. Alexis Mateo, Vanessa Vanjie Mateo is born in New York, but she is also has Puerto Rican roots. There's of course Yara Sofia, Kenya Michaels, Jessica Wilde. The Coochie Queen, what's her name? Oh, how could I forget? She lives in Texas now, I know that. Oh my god, I won't remember. But from season 8 and season 9, of course, she's also from Puerto Rico. So plenty of Puerto Rican drag queens. So that's kind of what I associate with it. Oh, and I'm pretty sure that the dude that did Despacito, that he's also Puerto Rican, I think. All of the Latino songs have this very distinctive beat. All of them! So the verses really remind me of like 90s boy bands. See? Spanish just sounded way cooler. Like, the whole song should be like this. Not bad. I could also imagine the song on Eurovision. I would have preferred for it to be in Spanish, but that's just me. The next state on our list is Rhode Island, known as the Ocean State. I literally don't know anything about Rhode Island. The only thing that I know is that it's on the East Coast. For a second, I thought that Pete Davidson was from Rhode Island, but then I remembered that he's from Staten Island. And I don't think that's the same thing. So Rhode Island is represented by Hueston with the song Held On Too Long. Yeah, nice voice for sure. Really great. It gives you chills, I gotta say. But I would like to point out, it's not a talent show, this is a song competition, so we're judging the song. As of now, I'm not super into it. It's just a pleasure listening to someone who's such a proficient singer and just pulls up every note so beautifully and sings with such ease. It's a song that's not sophisticated, is not, like, basically it very much relies on his voice to make the impact, right? Because there's really not much there in the background, in the music, so I still don't love the song that much because it's a ballad, it's a little boring to me, but it's a very magical kind of performance and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will love it for that. Next up on our list is Wisconsin, which is called the Badger State and America's Dairyland. I have a couple of things that I associate with Wisconsin. So first of all, it's the show Life with Louie, you know, based on like Louis Anderson's life. I watched the fuck out of that show with my brother when we were little on Fox Kids. We loved it. It was just so funny, so relatable, so like heartwarming, really, really cool cartoon. And I, of course, remember that it was set in Wisconsin and the town they lived in was Cedar Knoll. Okay, so Wisconsin is represented by the artist Jayco with the song Feel Your Love. Let's see. Okay, so I was a bit skeptical when I first heard that his style is kind of mixing that retro rock and roll sound with something more futuristic. But I think this one actually is pretty successful at kind of mixing a more retro feel with something that sounds more contemporary. You know, it reminds me of that remix of Elvis Presley's Little Less Conversation. Because with that very strong bass line, I think that that sounds really cool. pretty good. I don't know if I love the chorus that much, you know, if it's like such a catchy song, but it generally, the overall feel of it and the overall sound of it is pretty cool. Next up on our list is Wyoming. Now, the only things that I know about Wyoming is I think Brokeback Mountain was set in Wyoming, or at the very least, I think that the herding gig that they were doing, that was, I think, in Wyoming. And I think RuPaul has a ranch in Wyoming. So I know that they have gay cowboys and mountains. Those are the only two things I know about Wyoming. Oh, and it's called the Equality State. So, hence the gay cowboys, I guess. Okay, we're going to listen to Ryan Charles and his song You Boot Goofin'. Yeah, you can have no doubts what the song is about. Well, I think the mixing country and hip-hop is very on trend right now. I mean, ever since Lil Nas's Old Time Road, I guess. Old Town Road, right? Old Town Road. So while we're on the topic of cowboy boots, I actually have a pair of original cowboy boots. My dad gave them to my mom, actually, and I told my mom, like, wow, such cool boots, and she just gave them to me because that's what my mom does every single time I compliment any piece of her clothing. So I gotta be really careful and do not give her any compliments because I have way too many clothes as is. But those boots I'm not mad about because I love them. They're really pretty, but they're not from Wyoming, they're from Iowa. That chorus is quite nice, I gotta say. Not bad. I thought that the chorus was quite cool. Out of all of these songs, I mean, I think you could notice that I reacted most positively to Michael Bolton. I'm shocked by this. I didn't expect that, but here we are. So I really like that song, actually. Wyoming was pretty cool too. Mississippi was nice. I guess those are the ones that I remember the most at this point, so good job there, these states. So I don't remember who was chosen by the juries to move forward. Like, I gotta check. Okay, so the winner was Hueston and held on for too long. I mean, of course, this is the type of thing that the juries would select. So as far as I know now, people have 3 days to vote for another 3 acts, or yeah, I think another 3 acts that are also going to advance to the next round. By the time I publish this video, we will have already known the results, but as of now, I don't know. I'm definitely planning on making a video where I'm going to talk more about generally the American Song Contest, the differences between that and Eurovision, if I think it will be successful, and what I think about the expansion of the franchise to America. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you like this video, please hit the like button. That would really help me out in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to, you can subscribe and get some more content, especially if you click on the bell and you'll get notifications, but no pressure, just so you know. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. Bye!